Good morning everyone. Myself Shefa Shah, and we will in today's lecture we will cover the topic that is channel allocation problem. Now, what is channel allocation problem? That is basic is in this chapter we will look two types of channel allocation problem, that is dynamic allocation problem and static schemes. Right? Now we will start with the static schemes and channel allocation problem. So what does the static channel allocation means? That means once the frequency is allocated, then number of frequency channels are distributed as per the frequency channels and which are used in LAN and MAN networks. Right? So this static channel allocation, that is a traditional way of allocation a single channel such as telephone trunk among multiple competing users using this FDM or TDM. Now, what does this FDM means? FDM stands for frequency division multiplexing. If there are n users, the bandwidth is divided into n equal size portion. Each user will have a different individual portions of channel frequency. Now, as you can see in this below figure, that here you can see that in A figure there are different three channels, channel 1, channel 2 and channel 3, and that particular channel is represented in a spectrum which is a frequency spectrum in figure B. And when you compare or when you add this merge all these three frequencies, you will get a one frequency spectrum which is lies from the 60 kilohertz to 70 kilohertz. Now, what does this frequency division multiplexing happens? So first it will divide the original bandwidth into number of channels. Then each bandwidth will have different channel frequency, that means the bandwidth raised in frequency. And then last what will happen, that the different multiplex channel we will multiply or we will merge this particular frequency and it will have a whole frequency spectrum which is called as multiplex channel. So this is whole basic concept of frequency division multiplexing. Now, since each user has a private frequency band, there is no interference between users. So basically this is the advantage of FDM, that is frequency division multiplexing, when we allocate channel to each user and each frequency will have a different user. So when there is only a small and fixed number of users, each of which will have a load of traffic. So FDM is simple and efficient allocation mechanism. Now, however, there are some disadvantages of FDM also, such as when the number of sender is large and it is continuously varying, so the traffic will be busty. So FDM will represent some disadvantages. Now, let's discuss what are the disadvantages occurs due to this FDM. So if the spectrum is cut into n regions and fewer than n users are currently interested in communicating, a large piece of valuable spectrum will be wasted. Second, that is if more than n users want to communicate, some of them will be denied permission for lack of bandwidth. So whenever the user, if there are more users and channel frequency is less, right, so what will happen is due to heavy load traffic, some of the users will not get the allocated bandwidth, and that particular due to lack of bandwidth the frequency is not allocated to that user, so they will have to wait for either transmitting or receiving the signals. However, even assuming that the number of users would somehow can be held constant at n, dividing a single available channel into sub-channels which are inefficient. So, the basic problem for this channel allocation using FDM is when some users are quiescent, their bandwidth is simply lost. They are not using it and no one else is allowed to use it. So if we make a static channel, so the number of users is fixed as per channel allocation, and if that particular user is not using that particular channel, then at that particular time that particular frequency will be wasted, right, as it is static and channel allocation. Furthermore, in most computer systems, data traffic is extremely bursty, that is in a ratio of 1000:1, right. So consequently most of the channels will be ideal at most of the time, right? So to overcome this disadvantage of FDM, we will apply the next application, that is TDM, that is time division multiplexing. So here in place of frequency division, we are giving each time slot, so the whole time is divided into the n number of time slots. So if user does not use the allocated slot, it just lies fallow, right? Now how to calculate this channel allocation and time slot using this formula, let's see. So here you can see the formula on the right hand side of the screen, that T is equal to 1 upon 1 upon mu c minus lambda, where mu is the frames per bit, that is 1 by mu, then lambda, that is arrival rate, that is frame per second, and c, that is the channel capacity, which is in terms of bps, that is bits per second, right? Now if we divide this n channels, right, so each channel will have c by n bps, that is c by n ratio, that is channel to n ratio, right? So T will be equal to 1 by mu, and in place of capital C we will replace this by c by n, where n is the number of divisions, right, minus lambda by n. So equating this equation, we will get T is equal to n upon mu c minus lambda, and we here before we have discussed that is 1 upon mu c by lambda, that is capital T. So the T, that is the time delay due to this channel allocation, that is equal to nt, right? So this is how the time delay can be calculated in this frequency division multiplexing method. Now as we have discussed, there are some of the disadvantages of FDM. So we are moving towards the next channel allocation problem, that is time division multiplexing, that is TDM. Now as you can see this on the figure on the screen, here what we have done is, instead of dividing into different channel frequencies, we are dividing the time slots. So here we have here you can see this is T1 carrier having a frequency of 1.544 Mbps. Right? So what it will happen is, the bit 1 is sent. After this, as we have said that the total data is of 8 bit. So if one bit is transmitting at a time, and if it is receiving at the receiver end, then and then only rest of the bits will be transmitted, right? So it will have more advantage rather than the FDM. Since none of the traditional static allocation works well, and it will having a bursty value, so now we will move towards the dynamic methods, right? So now next we will discuss the dynamic channel allocation, again in LAN and MAN networks, right? So in previous we have discussed that static channel allocation using FDM and TDM, and we have known that by giving the static channel allocation, some of the channel frequencies as well as the sum of the time slot in TDM will remain ideal if the user is not using at that particular time, right? So in place of using the static channel allocation, here we are using this dynamic channel allocation, right? Now what is dynamic channel allocation? So here there are some of the terms discussed in dynamic channel allocation. First term, that is the station model. So what is the station model? So this model consists of n independent stations. Let's say an example of computers, telephones, or personal communication. These are the different networks we can form, right? Each with program or a user can generate number of frames, which is called as terminals, right? Now once a frame has been generated, the station is blocked and does nothing until the frame has been successfully transmitted. Then second term, that is the single channel assumption. Now what does this term means is, the single channel is available for all communication channels, and if one user is using at that particular channel, so after completing the transmission of that particular user, then it will notify to another user, so another user will occupy that channel and will transmit or receive the data, right? So all the stations can transmit it and all receive it from it. Then third term, that is the collision assumption. So if two frames are transmitted simultaneously, so there will be an issue, that is there will be an overlap in time, and the resultant signal will have a collision in between, right? So this station model will also detect these collisions. Then next term, that is continuous time and the slotted time. Now what is continuous time? So frame transmission can begin at any instant. There is no master clock dividing time into discrete intervals, right? So the frame is transmitted continuously with respect to time, and there is no master clock which can guide the time intervals in particular. Now what does the slotted time means? So time is divided into discrete intervals, that is slots. So frame transmission will always begin at 0 and will always end at 1. Right? So a slot may contain 0, 1 and more frames corresponding to an ideal slot, a successful transmission and a collision respectively. Then fifth term, that is carrier sense and no carrier sense. So what does the carrier sense means is station can tell if the channel is in use before trying to use it. If the channel is sensed busy, then no station will attempt to use until it goes ideal. So as we have discussed, dynamic allocation itself means that if the channel is right now using one user, so the another user will have to wait until this particular channel will become ideal. Now, no carrier sense means station cannot sense the channel before trying to use it. They go ahead and transmit, right? And only later can determine whether the transmission is successful or not. So if the channel is busy, the transmission will be unsuccessful, and if the channel is ideal, then particular user can use the channel and the transmission will be successful. Then, so that's all for today's lecture. Here we have discussed two channel allocation problem, that is static channel allocation problem and dynamic allocation problem. And after static channel allocation problem, its disadvantages is converted into advantages into in terms of dynamic allocation problem. So from this lecture we can say that the dynamic channel allocation is better than the static channel allocation, right? Thank you.